are here today. We have an event at JBJ's. This is basically, it's our day before our big holiday party. But what we are doing at Big Plan Holdings is, in Edge Hill Music Publishing, obviously, is we are hosting an investor event. So one of the things that is kind of unique about our business is we are a true family office, but we are a family office that looks at investments that are kind of outside the box. You know, like obviously we look at real estate and we look at other things that are very like true to form for investment possibilities, but we also look at things that are just like kind of unique and different, and we bring those investment opportunities to people that don't know about them. And one of the things that we're doing is we're going to be having kind of a panel today basically, and I'm going to have you guys follow along. We're going to have some incredible investors from different family offices, different walks of life, different businesses that want to come in and have interest to figure out what Big Plan Holdings is and how they can get involved and what kind of investment opportunities there are out there. So I wanted you guys to follow along. It's going to be at JBJ's and it's going to be a really fun event. We're excited.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Intersection. We're super happy to have you here. This is a brainchild of mine and our colleague Kevin Smarts, who is our VP of Business Development. And this is really just about getting incredible investors in a room together to help discuss really awesome alternative opportunities in the investment space together as we head into 2025 and how Big Plan Holdings views all of our alternative investments as a family and as an investment company. So we're super excited to have you here and have all these amazing investors and family offices here with us, and we can't wait to take you along.
Oh, hi. I am checking in for the Intersection. I have my laptop, I have my basket I got from Goodwill, and I got these that I didn't get from Goodwill. If you check those out and you fill them out, you might be in for a raffle item. Bourbon bottle, hospitality concept voucher/gift cards, American Paint custom luxury hat. Gotta wear one of these bad boys, slap them on that wrist. Go to the bar, get a drink. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Background tour. We've got some designs, which are going to be so fun because our incredible elves, look at, they hung some big ornaments from the ceiling. And we have this whole little candy cane lane looking event happening because this is all in prep for tomorrow.
It's so great to
And
have you.
over here, look at all this. So we have incredible food for today. Some great things.
Only the best things, of course.
I love that.
Thank you so much for
Meeting
coming.
for the event,
So
getting
appreciate
everybody
it.
all ready. And this is where we're going to have this incredible area set up for investors. As you can see, we have this great stage set up, and we have all the chairs ready to go. Looking at the different details, we have koozies for everybody. We have some questionnaire for people, and our stage for our panelists. And right here, we have this set up. Just following you through as it gets busier and busier in here, guys. As you can see, we are starting to fill up. We have our incredible chef also, Clint, who has done an incredible job. Like, look at these guys. We have mini key lime pies. And then we have little s'mores chocolate mousse. Look at our little sliders. We have Nashville hot chicken, cheeseburger sliders, pork belly sliders, club sandwiches, tater tots. This is my favorite salad in the whole world. Oh, this is the Cobb salad.
I'm Sydney Joseph. I'm one of the co-founders of Big Plan Holdings, our family office. I will kick it over to you.
Thanks, Sid. My name is Josh Joseph, also one of the co-founders of Big Plan Holdings, and very happy to have all of you here. And we'll give you a quick little synopsis on who we are in a minute, but thank you for pulling up here today.
I'm Eric Russell, a partner in the bean counter in the group, Chief Investment Officer.
And I'm Kevin Smart. A little feedback there. Typically, when I'm on stage, I'm behind a drum kit, but these fine folks here today let me have a mic, so yeah, we're gonna roll with that. But I run biz dev for Big Plan Holdings, and I just want to make a couple notes before we kick it off. You guys have some forms there. We'd love if you can fill it out. If you guys do fill it out and give it back to us, you guys will be entered into a drawing. So we have 3 prizes, and they have to do with our portfolio companies, so they're pretty cool. So I'll just throw it out there right now. So we have a bottle of bourbon, Baker's Mark bourbon that we made last year in Kentucky. We have a gift card to our hospitality group. They're sitting in one of our venues right now. And then we also have a custom cowboy hat company, and so we're gifting an experience. So fill that out if you guys want to win one of those. And then lastly, at the end of this, if you guys stick around, we're going to give you guys a full tour of JBJ's Nashville, this ground up development that we've been working on for the past 4 years. And then on the way out, we're going to gift you guys a piece of Bon Jovi merch.
So we're a family-owned business with wonderful partners and people alongside us. My wife Tara, my daughters Sydney and Sophie, who are both here. Sydney to my left. Sophie was the one checking everyone in, helping out, and my wife is right back there in all red, taping this. But we're a family from Chicago, transplanted here about 6 years ago, and formed a family office after a successful exit of a company that I had co-founded back in 2014, 2015, and sold that in July of 2020, right in the height of COVID. Did not expect to be doing everything we're doing today, but couldn't travel back then, so we started working all over again. And next thing you know, we're super fortunate and blessed to be doing great things with great people with us. I kind of call us a diversified family office. We're a little bit atypical family office, I should say, almost an incubator of sorts where we look at alternative investment opportunities that are heavily curated, that do have an intersection, which is the reason behind the name that Sydney and Kevin came up with here, with a lot of synergies amongst the different verticals that we're involved with. But where we're sitting here, and we'll touch upon what we do, but in different investment opportunities that we look at, we underwrite, etc., and put together. But the property that we're sitting in here today, JBJ's Nashville, it's a trophy piece that we put on the board as a family and as a partnership with wonderful people around us. We bought this, it was an old parking lot in 2019. We contracted to buy it, closed in October of 2020, broke ground in June of 22, and opened in June of 24. And so whoever's around at the end of today, we'll give you a really quick proper tour of the overall venue, which I think you'll appreciate and hopefully enjoy. We like showing it off. And that is, that's what we have going on here, about 37,000 square feet. It really does touch upon real estate, which we're involved with, music and entertainment, which we're involved with, hospitality, which we're involved with as well. So it really touches upon those three verticals, which are 3 of the 6 or 7 that we are involved with as a family office. So that's Big Plan Holdings. We're based here in Nashville, in 12 South. We're here full time. And we look at investment opportunities, not just here locally, but around the country and also overseas. So.
Well, thank you so much for that overview. And I think it's interesting with this being our first trophy project that we have kind of put together, because it really, like you had mentioned, helped us define that intersection investment thesis that we have refined over the past so many years, and kind of have used that as our criteria and ethos moving forward as we continue to define new industries we're interested in exploring and investing into. So I think it would be a really great opportunity now to kind of shed some light, everyone up here, on some projects that we have done in the past that are still underway currently, some high hitters on success stories that kind of hit in that intersection bucket, and then also some projects that we're actively working on and excited about and kind of thinking about moving forward that touches on 1, 2, 3 different industries and kind of help us keep that intersection focus and duality approach when we're investing.
Yeah, sure. So I view Big Plan in sort of 3 verticals. So we have the hospitality vertical, we have this bar, we have Hank's, and then a bar in 12 South called Playdate. We've got anywhere between 200 and 250 employees inside of that vertical at any given time. Our second vertical is real estate and real estate development. Inside of that vertical, we own 5 triple net lease dispensary assets, and we have 2 large real estate development projects. We're building a multifamily mixed-use project in Wedgwood, Houston. That's about $50 million. And then we got under contract 2 years ago a 12-acre parcel next to TSU. We're going to build Nashville's first urban wellness community. So it's 154 single-family houses, co-working space, fitness center, jogging path, pool, pickleball courts, sauna, jacuzzi, sort of all the things that you get in a high-end condo experience or in the suburbs. We're gonna have right in the middle of downtown, 2,000 square feet, plus or minus 3 and 4 bedrooms, sort of $750,000 to $800,000 price point. So we think it's a really good sort of lower middle market price point for Nashville with a really unique offering. So that's sort of vertical 2. Vertical 3 is venture capital. And inside of venture capital, we have a handful of projects. I'll start with stuff that we've done historically. And about 3 years ago, we made our first venture investment in a group called Silver Therapeutics. They're a cannabis company in the Northeast. At the time, they had 2 dispensaries. We invested in 3 more in the state of Maine. They today, fast forward 3 years, are hitting $35 million in revenue this year. They've opened 3 locations. They're going to open 4 more in the next 6 months, and they'll be on track to hit $50 million in revenue next year. So the goal with them is to get them to $100 million and have an exit. And what we did with them is, we not only gave them growth capital, but we function as a lot of their back office support. So Quentin, who's over here, was their fractional CFO for about a year and a half. We helped restructure their debt. They recently just went through, they had a senior facility that we just, brought out to our relationships, got a handful of term sheets, and are in the process of restructuring their senior facility for growth. As an example, they had, a $4.5 million senior facility. We got them $6 million plus $6 million of growth capital, continue to grow above the 4 stores that they have in the pipeline right now. So that's, as us as a company, when we try and look at venture deals, we try and take an active investment approach and position, and we think about collectively our backgrounds and what we can do to add value to those companies to help them grow. And that's been a good success story so far. And that investment is unique. And I'll dive into this one and the other 3, but that investment specifically, we made an equity investment, a debt investment, and a sale leaseback. So it allowed us to be in first chair on the debt piece. Every equity investment we make, we take a preferred equity position. So the idea is we get our money back plus an interest rate, and then we own part of some pro rata piece of the company moving forward. And then we had, in that particular instance, we did a sale leaseback, so it fell into sort of the real estate vertical for us. So right now we have, as an example, we bought one of the dispensaries for $500,000. We have it on the market for $2.5 million right now. We'll get our debt paid back Q1 of this year. So 3 years into the project, people will get 75% of their money back, and then we'll have 12% of a $50 million company that we hope to bring to $100 million as sort of an equity kicker for folks moving forward. As One is another venture project. They just released a docuseries. So the idea behind this one is we partnered with 2 of music's biggest managers, Ken Levitan and James Deaner. I'm sure a lot of people in this room probably know those names. They had this concept 3 years ago to merge Israeli and Palestinian cultures through music and create a boy band. So they started off with 800 young men, whittled it down to 6. So we now have 4 Israeli, 2 Palestinians, and they created a boy band. And we moved those young men to LA just by happenstance. We were a year and a half into the project, a week before, the day before the war broke out. So we've been documenting their journey, from auditioning through the war and then into becoming a band. And that docuseries just came out on Paramount this week. So we had a 4-part docuseries that we sold to Paramount, helped funded the band moving forward. So those are 2 venture deals that are 3 years into their life cycle. And then Milk and Honey Sports, which is we originally invested in them to open a Major League Baseball agency and a football agency, and most recently did a growth round of capital for them to do an acquisition of BMG Sports, which is Travis Kelce's sports agency. So if any of you guys are on our investor list or email list, you'll see that came out in April this year. And from a big plan perspective, we helped them through, they found the deal, and then we helped them figure out how to get through the acquisition and how to structure the deal. We ended up buying it at a 2x of guaranteed future revenue. So it's a killer deal for the company. We'll continue to look for deals like that. And the idea is sort of multiple arbitrage where we can find, acquisition opportunities inside of that sector, buy at a 2x, pack them all together, sell at a 6x once we get up to scale. That company today is 2.5, 3 years into its life cycle. We have 100 players. 60 of them are what we call in development, 40 of them are active, so they're actually generating revenue for the company. So that one is one we did initially $1 million investment in. We have another $3 million round, so there's about $1 million left of that $3 million round. On a premium content company, so Dan is a veteran. He's multi-Emmy award-winning producer. He came to us and he said, hey, I've got sort of 6 or 7 projects that are at the tail end of the pipeline right now. Alicia Keys documentary, a Frampton documentary, a documentary about hazing, and a handful of other ones. And he said, I need some help figuring out how to get this thing to the finish line and then to scale the company for an exit. And so last week, after 6 months of dancing with each other and trying to figure out what the right partnership looked like for us, we came together and made a deal, and hope to grow Dan's company through an exit over the next couple of years.
Awesome, cool. Well, I think Eric.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think one thing, just to frame it a little bit, for a lot of our experience relies around, as a group, around commercial real estate, cannabis, music and entertainment, hospitality. We are in fashion as well, with a custom cowboy hat making company here locally. So we've taken kind of this blend of a lot of our respective experiences as professionals at BPH, and we've created this intersection, so to speak, of music and entertainment, professional sports, sexy hospitality, commercial real estate, and my exit that I had referenced real quickly. Folks are very intrigued by that industry, and to date, we had this most successful and largest exit in cannabis history to date. So kind of been there, done that, and a lot of people still really enjoy talking about that industry, and we've kind of been there. We know what works, what doesn't. So there's a lot of intersection and crossover between all of these different. So it may seem a little bit chaotic to the outside world, but to us, we see a lot of crossover, if you will.
Maybe shift gears a little bit, but being an outsider but an insider at a family office, and it's a first-gen family office, and I think we might have a couple family offices in the room. We work with them. Some of them are invested with us, and vice versa. So I think it might be interesting to maybe touch a little bit on how you guys view, first generation of a family office and building that investment committee, with us 4 and a few other members of our team. It's pretty interesting, like the dynamic. So maybe you guys want to touch on the approach that's maybe a little bit atypical, like you mentioned, Josh, of the approach to investments and investment committee.
I love deals. Eric says no to 98 out of 100. That's the upshot. So
does your wife.
And my
So
wife,
does your daughter.
Yeah. So I love deals. My wife doesn't love deals. My daughter doesn't love deals, and my partner here, Eric, doesn't love deals. So, but I would say as a first-gen family office, it's interesting when we talk to other family offices that are second generation, third generation. We're very linear as an office. So it's it's really, we sit around, it sounds corny, but we sit around and we shoot the shit about deals and opportunities, and we look at them, and we do sensitivity checks, and someone might be super passionate about a cause or an industry or an opportunity, and someone, and a couple of us might just say, hey, hit the pause button. So, but again, we're very linear, and so we're not really set up to have some big hierarchy, if you will. It's a very, very open dialogue that we have in terms of when we should lean in on something, when we shouldn't, and I, in all seriousness, all kidding aside, am trying to get much better about saying no, and just kind of hitting the pause button and moving on, because that, I will say, being a deal junkie is the hardest thing.
and then specifically up here on stage, plus a couple other members of our team on the investment side bring to the table. I think that that's also something that helps us to have a very well-rounded analysis process of the deals that we do, because Kevin, for example, has spent pretty much most of his life in music and entertainment, which is drastically different than what Eric has spent most of his life in real estate development and behavioral health and the finance world and things like that. So each of us respectively come with a lot of different professional backgrounds and expertise, which I think helps to make pretty informed decisions.
Also, before Q&A, I think it's just one last thing on what we do. You know, we probably look at and get presented, I would say on average, and we do track it as best we can, but on an annual basis, we probably see 500 to 600 different investment opportunities. And that's not including just like people like shooting us like one-offs, but you know, here and there. So we see a significant amount of deal flow. And you know, if we're fortunate, we'll probably put somewhere between 2 to 4, 3 to 5 of those on the board, if you will, a year. You know, we syndicate our deals. You know, we're typically the lead investor, but we then will pass the hat around, and we'll typically take a GP position, and we'll create a GP LP structure. And so when we take in investors' money, we are stewards of investors' capital and take that extraordinarily seriously. I personally have been raising money from outside investors for probably, at this point I'm going to age myself, so I'm embarrassed, but probably 15 to 17 years, I'd say. 17 years. And that's a very, very, when you take in investors' money, that's an extraordinarily sensitive topic and issue, and has to be handled with the utmost respect, and being the steward of someone's capital is very, very important. I will pause there, but we would love some Q&A, and hit us with anything, that's it.
Under white blue skies.